the secret about the trade, what you don't understand is the Patriots had to make this trade. Why? Because the Patriots didn't want to get exposed by Joe Milton. And why is that? Because Joe Milton would become a distraction for that team, for the Patriots teams, for the simple fact that he can play. He can straight out ball. And the fans would be calling for him to play. As soon as Drake May does something wrong or out of the ordinary or something nobody agrees with, they're going to be calling for Joe Milton. So in order for the distractions not to be a part of the team, we have to move you somewhere else, Joe Milton. You know, with all due respect, we love you as a talent, but timing is just not right. Timing has a lot to do with a lot of things in life, you know what I mean? And that's the unfortunate part about this business, NFL, that we play in, that we love, you know, the way it's ran, and we're unable to compete fairly at certain positions. And that depends on the cap number of that starter, right? If you have a starter in front of you who's a first rounder or has a high cap number, new contract, no matter what you do as the backup or the person trying to compete for that position, there is no chance. There's no chance you're getting out there. You know what I mean? And think about it. After all this hype, all these things was going on since last season when Joe Milton went out there against, who was it, Buffalo, was able to start, won the game, had an incredible game. After all that hype since that last game, he has been traded to Dallas Cowboys for only a 5th-round pick. Huh. Is that a coincidence? In my opinion, I think the Patriots, just like any team making a trade, they try to identify the team they felt comfortable trading Milton to, where he has the best chance not to shine, because they don't want him to shine. You know, Mike Vrabel, the head coach, and Elliott Wolf, which Mike Vrabel didn't have nothing to do with drafting Joe Milton. I'm sure that was the old staff and Elliott Wolf. I'm not sure if he was general manager last year, but whoever is the general manager, their job consists of bringing talent on a team, not getting rid of talent from the team. And their job is to make the decision who comes in and make this team better. And if you get rid of a player who can potentially make this team better, and he goes to make another team better, no one wants that to come back and bite them and hunt your team. So you try to pick the perfect place, or the place where you think this athlete can't be that productive or make a difference to this team. And yeah, so the Patriots had to pick a spot where they wouldn't make them look so bad, you know? And at the end of the day, somebody had to be the fall guy. If Joe Milton go over there to Dallas Cowboys or wherever he may land after he left Patriots and, you know, was traded to the Cowboys, you know, somebody had to be the fall guy. And I'm thinking it would be Elliott Wolf, you know? Now, on the other hand, if Milton remained a Patriot, right, and he was forced into action and plays a lot better than Drake May, that becomes a problem instantly. You know what I mean? The nature of the business. When you're a 6th-round pick, there isn't much expectations for a 6th-round pick, 4th-round pick like myself, according to how the business model and the business is structured, you know, the way the business is set up. And Drake May was the first-round pick with high expectations. That's just the nature of the business, you know what I mean? That sucks for Milton because he has a lot of freaking talent. Now, with all that being said, where is Jerry Jones going? Because there was a lot of speculations in the draft. It is hard for us to figure out who is going to land where. This is one of the most unsettling drafts we've been a part of, you know. But we know, I guess Jerry Jones is trying to make this a tradition, trading for quarterbacks every year, you know. And he just traded for Trey Lance last year. That didn't work out. Now, and Trey Lance never became the 2nd-string quarterback. Obviously, that didn't fit. He didn't fit the mold to be the backup quarterback. Will Joe Milton be designated as the backup quarterback, and will the Cowboys give him a chance and all the opportunities he's supposed to have as a backup quarterback to go out there and succeed or move on and be labeled as a top backup? You know, it's about labels and your brand in the NFL, you know? And because Trey Lance, like I said, he was listed as a 3rd quarterback, and I don't know what's going on with him now. You know what I mean? But like I said, for Jerry Jones, Coach Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, you know, it was some speculation and some possibility that Shedeur could possibly be a Cowboy. But I don't know. And does this mean the Cowboys are out as one of the teams to draft Shador Sanders? Does this mean that you got Dak Prescott, then you got Joe Milton? It looks like the Cowboys will not be a team that will be drafting Shador Sanders. And that's unfortunate. A lot of people would love to see that. You know what I mean? That's what it just seems like. And I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like all these reports that are coming out of nowhere about Shador Sanders' stock dropping is kind of sounding true, right? Because if you follow what's been going on in free agency, all these signings and things like that, teams that need quarterbacks early on in the draft are starting to sign not one, but make sure they have two potential starting quarterbacks on their roster. And the Giants just signed two quarterbacks. Who they got? Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. And now the Cowboys have signed two quarterbacks. Dak Prescott, Joe Milton. The Patriots aren't looking to draft for quarterback. They have the fourth pick in the draft. Neither are the Panthers and the Jaguars. All these teams are in the top 10, right? And that only leaves the Tennessee Titans and Cleveland Browns and possibly the Raiders for teams that potentially can take a quarterback. And Shador Sanders only need that one team to draft him. Will it be the Browns? I don't know, man. The Browns general manager came out, and I think it's the general manager or the coach, one of them. They are just so infatuated with the idea of Travis Hunter. You know what I mean? But the closer we get to the draft, we should know who the number one pick will be. And usually the number one pick has a contract done a couple weeks before the draft. So once they get the number one pick out of the way, that may clear the path and give us a better understanding of how this draft may take place. You know what I mean? But I hope Shador Sanders' draft stock isn't dropping because he's a really good talent. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see, man. But that would be crazy. If only one quarterback is drafted in the top 10 of this year's draft. That would be a little like, oh.